A common question intermediate French learners have is what's the difference between a direct and an indirect object? The distinction is useful when trying to figure out whether to use the direct object pronouns le, la, les, or the indirect object pronouns lui, leur. This video will provide you with some tips to distinguish between them. The basic sentence structure of French is subject, verb, object. For example, le chien mange le croissant. The subject is the person or thing performing the action, in this case the dog. The verb is the action, in this case eats, and the object is the person or thing that receives or is impacted by the action, in this case the croissant that's being eaten. There are two types of objects, direct and indirect. Each language uses them differently, but in French, an indirect object always comes after the preposition à, or sometimes pour, whereas there is no preposition in front of a direct object, and it usually comes right after the verb. For example, j'écris la lettre à Robert. Robert is the indirect object here, and la lettre is the direct object, since there's no preposition like à, and also it comes directly after the word. The tricky part is sometimes objects are direct in English, but indirect in French. For example, in Je téléphone à ma mère is indirect since it comes after à. In I phone my mother is direct since there is no linking word and it comes directly after the verb. To further complicate things, indirect objects in English aren't always clearly labeled, like how French always uses à. English sometimes uses to and sometimes not. For example, I give the present to Raj, or I give Raj the present. The best way to identify a direct or indirect object is to use a dictionary, like wordreference.com. Whenever you look up a verb, it will normally list the verb in this format, where it says if you need à in front of an object. For example, aider is listed as aider quelqu'un à faire quelque chose. So, aider quelqu'un tells us that whatever object comes after aider, usually it would be a person, will be a direct object. Écrire is listed as écrire quelque chose à quelqu'un, which tells us that the thing being written is our direct object, and the thing or person being written to is our indirect object. Remember that if à comes before an object in French, it means it is the indirect object. If à does not come before an object, it means it is the direct object. If you enjoyed this 2-minute French grammar tip, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel with the notifications turned on to stay updated on new videos.